I've done over 30 sub-2 transactions just this year in 2023, utilizing one method. I've done a handful of creative finance and cash transactions in the last 3 years. I think over the course of 3 years that I've been in real estate, I did over just about 80 to 90 transactions. That's including subject to seller finance, cash deals, wholesale deals. I've done some wraps. So I did my toes into a lot of different ventures in real estate, and I really think the sub-2 deals that I'm going to be teaching you guys will be the most beneficial, especially in this market, right? Also, I'm a Gator lender. I just found out about Gator lending about 3 months ago. So I heard of it for like the last year and never did it up until 3 months ago. And I've done over 15 Gator lending deals. At this point, I probably do one or two Gator deals a week, just from referrals and just me being really loud on social media. People know what I do. People know that I can fund in the same day. People know that I have money. People know that when I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, because my words are my everything. Let's see. Okay, so these are all the transactions that I've done. You guys can pull it up. I have HUDs for it. Just because you want to learn from the people that's actually doing business, so I want to make sure I provide credibility. Transactions. Almost 40 deals. 40 deals closed and pending with buyers in place. So I have, and these are all subject to deals this year alone. So 30 of them closed, and I have about 10 or about 12 of them in escrow as we speak. So how many of you heard about the no equity list I've been talking about? Love it. How many of you guys been calling it? How many of you guys been calling it consistently and got a deal out of it? No, you have? Yeah, no, I've seen you do deals. Okay, so that's a problem, because I want everybody to do this. I don't want to gobble up the whole Arizona, So where does the list come from? So I'm gonna be breaking down number one, where does the list come from? Why do homeowners have no equity in their houses? Like, especially in this market, right? In the last 2 years, the real estate went boom, and then now you think everybody and their mom and their dad have so much equity, which is true, but those are not the people that we're going after. And then why would they even take a subject to offer? Okay? And then how does it benefit the sellers? Okay? Does anybody not familiar with subto before we move on? Everybody knows what subject to is? Okay. Everybody, okay, perfect. Sorry, I was just trying to buy time. Perfect. Oh, by the way, this is the biggest stage I've ever spoken at, so bear with me, I'm like getting there. So this is a house this is where the list came from. 1188 South 9th Avenue in Yuma, Arizona. I drove by it when I was coming from Phoenix. And this deal, you can see it closed on 8/19/2022. So that's when the idea came from my brain. This deal comes to me, this girl comes to me, Diana Hernandez. She goes, "Hey Kevin, I've been calling for sale by owners for the last 2 months, and I have this homeowner that's open to sub-2." I'm like, perfect, let me get on the phone call, let me see what their situation is, because every deal has a situation that people are trying to solve. Foreclosure, divorce, bankruptcy, whatever. So I get on the phone call. Husband's name is Seth, and the wife's name is Ashley, and they're in the process of getting divorced. And I say, okay, well, what's going on here? What's the situation? And they go, well, I serve in the Marines, and I just bought this house in May of 2022, which is 3 months before we close on the deal. And you can look this up on tax records to see when they actually bought it. Seth and Ashley. Oh, no, that's not the... Okay, can't give out the secrets yet. Because everyone will just leave. Okay, yes, so Seth and Ashley, I hop on a four-way phone call. Seth, Ashley, Diana, and myself, and I try to analyze the situation. So Seth serves in the Marine. They bought this house with VA loan back in May. And they are going through a divorce. They have a kid already, and they're in the process of getting out. And because they're separating, they want to get out of the house that they're living in, because, Ashley's moving up to New York, Buffalo, New York, and and Seth is staying in the Marines because that's where he's stationed at. So they're trying to liquidate the house. I wish I could. This is a picture. I can't scroll down. But so they bought the house 2 months ago, and now they're in a position where they have to sell because they're going through a divorce. So I said, okay, how much do you owe? They said, I owe $270 on the house. That's what they bought it for. And they have it listed for sale by owner at, I think it was $290, because we paid the full price. So $290 is what they have it listed for, and they have it for sale by owner. Anybody know why? Yeah. Yeah, because there's no equity and they don't have to pay the realtor, because they can afford to pay the listing agent commission. They could barely pay for the buyer's agent commission, let alone a listing agent commission. So Diana pitches us up to, and I come in just to finalize the deal, just seal the deal. That's where I usually come in. I say, okay, are you guys open to doing a subject too, where we come in and take over the payments? And they said, well, eventually they said yes, but they were in a position where they have to cut a check if they got a traditional offer on the table. Because, I mean, this was back in August, so that's when the market was dipping. The rates were probably at 4.5% to 5%. Not a lot of buyers. They had to get the certain amount to close on the deal, or else they had to cut a check, which they didn't have the money for. So, not that they necessarily loved the idea, but they had to, right? Because what other solutions would you do if it's not a sub-2? You would foreclose. There's one more thing. Short sale, yeah. So you got 3 options: sub-2, sub-2, short sale, or foreclose. And those 2 options are not beneficial for the sellers. So they weren't happy about the idea, but they had no other choice. So I ended up closing the deal. I give them $2,500 to Seth. I give $2,500 to Ashley. I give Diana around $5,000. I pay for the closing costs. There were no arrears. It's a brand new house. And I closed the deal with $14,000 out of my pocket. And oh, by the way, this is a funny story. A sub-2 student flipped this house and they sold it to Seth and Ashley, and I took it over sub-2. It's really weird. Yeah, whatever. So when I posted about this, I don't want to say their name, but they said, "Well, that's the house that I just flipped." So they were in a position where they had to sell, and they were in a position where they had to take a sub-2 offer. And I said, okay, well, how about I come up with a list where, like, there's got to be at least one more people that are in the same situation as Seth and Ashley. So I went to PropStream. So what's the situation here? They bought the house, probably no money down because they're VA, and they owned the house for just less than 3 months, really. But so they recently owned the house and they're back on the market, and that's the list. And so that's the list I came up with. I literally just take the situation and I put it into a list. This is a list that my team go after. You guys can take a picture of it. I would love to compete with you guys. I would dominate. So, not in California. You can take the whole state of California. Residential. A lot of people want to go after residential because that's usually easier to tackle. It's not too. Oh my gosh, this thing is so sensitive. They're usually easier to tackle, and most people have resources. Like, if you got this house for 14 grand, would you buy this house? 2.9% interest rate? Right. The payment is only $1,500. We have it rented out for $2,100. 14 grand out of pocket. So this is a list: residential and vacant lot. Does anybody know why we add vacant lot on the list? New homes, brand new construction. So 2021, 2022, 2023 new build. Single family condo, vacant lot, general, and they're on the market, listed for sale for sale. Years of ownership, I put 2 years, and they're owned by an individual, right? Because you don't want to work with a corporation, or at least I don't like to, because it's easier. It's harder to trace the people. It's harder to negotiate. Versus if I'm working directly with Travis, you and I work together. It's less of a friction. Oh shoot. Yeah, and then 80% or more. That's just kind of the filter that I use for conventional loans, and yeah. So this is the filter from FHA VA, because FHA you put 3.5% down, and VA you could put no money down, and for conventional, you can put 50% down on conventional, so I purposely put 80% or more, 20% or less equity. So that's the list that I pulled in Arizona, and it was a very, very small list, especially when I pulled it from PropStream. And it was probably 70, 80 people, and the second call that I made from that list, I get another sub-2 deal out of it in like the first week that I called. 6001 East Southern Avenue, Unit 30 in Mesa, Arizona. That's the deal that I sold to Pace, and it is like a guest house for people that come flying for the mastermind. So I'm like, oh shoot, as soon as I make the list, I get another sub-2 deal in like a week. So I start going through every single one, and then probably number 30 or 40, I get another deal. Let's see. So that's when I started talking about, hey, this is a list that no one's going after, and it was Blue Ocean. This was back in August, September. Every single call that I made, agents have never heard of sub-2. Literally not a single agent has heard of sub-2, and I was just so excited. But I'm like, I'm never sharing this until the day I die, you know. So I get a couple deals out of it, and I saw a handful of deals to Pace, and Pace goes, you should share that at the mastermind and the golden ticket event. Guess what my first instinct was? No, that's my precious little kid. I don't want to share that list. But ended up, I share that list. I speak on 3 golden stage events, and I speak. I don't think I speak at the mastermind, but I do a lot of Zooms with other students, and I give away my secret. Like, I may compete with you on deals, but I'm still gonna give the secret out just because I'm a go-giver, I guess. But the funniest thing is, because I shared that list out, and a lot of people started calling it, guess who they came to me for help? So I basically planted a bunch of avatars for people to come to me. So I ended up, tripling my business. It's the law of generosity, or one of those laws.
Attraction.
Yes, law of reciprocation, law of attraction, one of those 5 laws in the Google. But I actually felt it. I actually, tripled my business because of it. And now I've done, in about a couple weeks, I'll have 40 sub-2 deals that I've done so far this year. My goal is to get to 100. So this house, 10808 Gator Avenue in Las Vegas. Another sub-2 student calls me. He goes, hey, I know you've been talking about the no equity list. And I have a direct to seller marketing going on for the homes that were just bought. No motivation at all, just homes that were just bought in the last year, last 2 years. I started calling them. This homeowner is interested because they bought the house back in 2021 when the rates were low. They moved to Texas because he was also military. So military people, they move a lot. So it's a VA loan. He just moved out to Texas, and he has a property management in place. He's bringing in probably $200 to $300 a month, but he just has not. He doesn't want to do anything with the house. Just the fact that he has a house in Vegas and he's in Texas, this just doesn't sit right with him, I guess. So he calls up to me and say, homeowner has 2.7% interest rate. It's already cash flowing $300, and the homeowner just wants to walk out. I don't know why. They just want out. So this is a deal that I'm buying today. I signed the contract today. This will cash flow $300 a month gross, and my entry fee on this deal is $3,500 to the seller. I'm paying the wholesaler $1,000. Negotiate him down. I said I don't want the deal. He goes, well, why not? Do you want to take some? I'll take a lower assignment fee just to do a deal with you. I said, well, the only amount I can afford is $1,000, but you're probably not going to take it. He goes, I'll take it. So my total entry fee on this deal, sorry, I feel bad I did it, but $3,500 to the seller, and then $1,000 assignment fee, closing cost. And he was behind on HOA for a little bit, so my total entry fee on this deal is $10,000, and I'm cash flowing just from day one, already property management in place. This is another deal that somebody else brought it to me just because I talk about it. I help a lot of people, and I say, I help on the phone, but I just call the sellers for them all the time. Camino product, Queen Creek, it's being signed today as we speak. The homeowner, it's a $550,000 house. How much do you think they want down? You said 10,000? Any other guesses? 20. He just wants $10,000 down, take over the payments. It's a 2.99% interest rate. $10,000 down, that's 2% down. 503 back in Queen Creek. Really nice neighborhood. This is Josh's house. Josh, stand up. So Josh, he's the guy that I work with. He's 19 years old. He just bought his primary residence subto just from this place. Josh, how much did the seller get? Seller got 0. How much did the listing agent get? The seller got $3K, and you paid me $2,500 assignment fee. You paid Ryan $2,500 assignment fee. So you paid just about $10,000 plus closing costs on a $400,000 house in Tempe, Arizona. Subto deal. What's the interest rate? 4.2% interest rate. It was just bought. I mean, look at this house. It's a pink house. Josh loved it. No, he spent the last 2 days painting the whole thing. So this is a deal that I just closed with Pace. If you saw my Instagram, this is a deal that Pace and Grant Cardone bought together. And 125 Crestwood Drive, San Angelo. So let's just say you go to PropStream, you pull the filter in. How do you know if the house has equity or not, right? So number one, all you need to look at is what is the house listed for, and what is the mortgage balance. And mortgage balance is a public record that you can always look up on your county data. So you probably can, people in the back probably can see how much was the house listed for? $199. How much do they owe? $168. So after commissions, closing costs, any concessions, the homeowner was in a position where they're cutting a check or break even at the best if they got a full price offer. That's considering that there's no concessions, no repairs, everything's brand new. So these are the houses we go after. All you need to do is, if you go to PropStream, pull the filter, the one that I showed you guys earlier. All you need to do is price minus mortgage balance equals, if it's less than 10%, that house has no equity, right? So those are the people that you go after, regardless of whether they want to do it or not. They're probably gonna say, this is a scam, I don't like this, I don't want my mortgage tied to my name. But guess what? You have no other option. Seth and Ashley, they didn't like the idea too much, but they were in a position where they had to. They were in a position where they had to. If you look at this one, 3517 52nd Lubbock Street, we are closing this on tomorrow. So all the deals that I'm putting up here are my deals, JV deals, directly, me and Josh's deal. These are the deals that we have currently going on. This is just me and my somebody else from subto. 52nd Street Lubbock, they have it failed at $310,000. That's what the house was listed for. That's what the listing agent said. You know what? I think we can sell this house for $310,000. So they have it listed for $310,000, but knowing they have the homeowner owes $292,000. So if you look, so the way the realtor comes up with the number is, okay, well, if you owe $292, just for you to break even, you have to be at $310. Even if the house is now worth $310, right? I mean, I know this is not accurate, but it says house is worth $301. So they're purposely putting the house up for a little bit more, hoping that they get a lower price offer and they can exit the house pretty safely. And they own the house for only 1.5 years, 1 year and 5 months, financed, owned by an individual, owner occupied, 3.05% interest rate, right? Because you're buying the interest rate. You're not buying the house. You're buying the interest rate that's already out there. You're buying the 2.99% interest rate. This is such a good story. But so on the same day that Josh went under contract on his primary, I went on my primary on my primary residence subto in 3% interest rate, and we're closing on it next Monday. So this is a deal. This is a method that works to get your primary residence, get your investment property. If you want to do some wraps, this is a method that works as long as you can follow up consistently, right? Because you can't. It's different from seller finance. Matt was asking me, why do you prefer sub 2 over seller finance? My answer was, well, the reason why I prefer sub 2 is because the homeowners have to sell with me. If they own the house free and clear, there's no reason for them to really sell. Like if they don't like the offer, they can just hold on. You know, there's no pain. They're not making any payments, right? So this is because I talk about no equity list all the time, and people know what I do in my business. I get a lot of DMs, and look at all these people that came out. I'm just so, what did I do to deserve this? Honestly, I'm so thankful. So I post about my no equity subto deals all the time, and I get a DM. Let me see if it has a date. This Friday. No, not this Friday. What day is today? Today's Thursday. So this was 6 days ago, Friday at 10:50. This was when I was on the road. John, I think you saw John was in the car when we were driving through. Andrew Berry from Subto in Arizona. He DMs me while we're on the road. He goes, "You want to buy my house Subto? 3753 East Polk, Phoenix. 4306 PITI, VA loan 5.5%, no equity. I can leave the furniture there or take it." I said, "Call me. My number. Call me right now." Shameless plug. If you have no equity in your house, I will buy it. He goes, "I'm an appointment. Can I call you as soon as I get done? Maybe an hour?" I said, "Yeah, text me first though. You know, you want to do the pull away. You don't want to always be available. Text me first." So we're on the road with me, John, and Jake. We're driving through. It feels Friday. Where were we on Friday, John? Amarillo, right? Tulsa. We were in Tulsa on Friday. We're driving through Tulsa. I get this DM. I call Andrew because he reached out to me cold DM saying, "Hey, do you want to buy my house up too?" This is a house, 3753 East Polk Street, Phoenix, Arizona. When did they buy it? March 31st, 2023. So that was April 1st. 2.5 months ago, that's when they bought the house. 2.5 months ago. They got a VA loan, 5.5%. This is a brand new construction. It's a 2023 build. Brand new construction. This is the nicest house in the neighborhood. So of course I have a rapport built with him because I have a meetup in Arizona, and he came to my meetup a couple times. I helped him with their couple first. I helped them with their leads a couple times. So they know that, you know, I do Subto deals. Of course, I talk about it all the time on social media, so they know that I do deals. And the reason why he came up to me was, "Hey, I know you're credible. I know you're a buyer. I wanted to give this to you first because I don't want to post it on Subto and some random person takes it and they ruin my credit, whatever." So for those of you guys can see in the back, this is a brand new construction, and this is a duplex. Yes. Oh, yeah. Go ahead.
I have a question. Did that person, the original buyer, bought the property in March, or was that because it's a new build? Was he already like committed to it with a deposit well before that, and that's why he ended up he was forced to buy and having to sell it?
No. He closed on the transaction. He bought it with his VA loan. So it was built in April, and it was built in April, and that's when they bought it, closed it, and moved in with it. And the reason why they're selling it is because his wife, Megan, got a job all the way up in North Scottsdale, 45 to 50-minute drive each way, and she didn't want to do the drive, so she decides, okay, let's sell this house up to Kevin, and move and use my VA loan because they were both in military, use Megan's VA loan to go buy the next house. So they're leaving their entitlement in place, and they're also leaving the furnitures in place. And guess how much I'm giving them? 5? 0? 10,000? I'm giving them $10,000 down. Oops. Giving them $10,000 down on a house that they bought it for $640,000. That's not even, what is that? That's 6%? No, that's 0.6%. No, that's 1 point something percent. That's less than 2% down on a 2023 construction build. And I go, and as soon as I come to Phoenix, I drive to the house. I pull up the address, and guess what? 1.1 miles away from my house. This is insane. I didn't even know. I didn't even know they lived 4 minutes away from me. Time to upgrade, yes. Well, I already have my house I'm moving into, so. But 640,000. The house is probably not worth 640. It's probably worth price 600 to 610 after commissions and closing costs. They're in a position where they have to cut a check for maybe $40 to $50,000 down. So we come in, take over the payments, $10,000, no arrears, brand 2023 brand new construction. The rates are a little bit higher, but 5.5% right now is really not bad at all. Yeah. So this is what I plan on doing with the house. So it's 4 minutes away. This is a deal breakdown. 10K to seller, 0K arrears, because they just bought it. There's no agent commission involved. I'm direct to the seller. 0K assignment fee, and I'm only paying 4K closing costs. And it's a duplex, so unit A is already rented out for $2,800, and then unit B will rent it out for $2,800 once they move out. And it will bring in $550, $600, PITS $4,300. So cash flow gross $1,300, which means we'll probably take home, just under $1,000. So this is a deal that even if he didn't want to do a sub-2, the sub-2 is the only way that they would have sold the house. Enough of my deal breakdown. So I read an article today. The Fed holds off on rate hike, but says 2 more are coming later this year. Which means if the rates are 6.5%, not even 6, probably 7.5%, 8%, right? If they jump up to 9%, 10%, that means that the houses are going to stay on the market longer. The value of the houses are going to drop, depending on how much demand is, supply and demand there is in each market. But generally speaking, if the rates go up to 9 to 10%, that means less buyers looking to buy, which means houses are going to stay in the market a little longer, and sub-2 is the way to go. Another article: Fed pauses interest rate hikes, signals 2 more increases likely in 2023 inflation. So that's what's coming up in the market. Anybody think sub-2 will dominate in the next 12, 24 months?
Absolutely.
Right? If the rates go up 2 more times this year, how much more opportunities are out there? Right? So this is why I say, this is why I talk about no equity sub-2 deals. I told somebody I should make a t-shirt out of it, really, because that's really all I do. And like I said, I told Matt, the reason why I like sub-2 is because that's the only way for homeowners to safely get out of a house without foreclosing, without going through foreclosure and short sale. So, shameless plug. My Kevin Cho, my name, my number, my email, my Instagram. I run a pretty sizable operation. I've done over 30 sub-2 deals this year alone, and I have about 12 more in escrow. And these are all sub-2 deals. These are no seller finance. These are no cash. Every single one of them is a cash deal, is a sub-2 deal, and they're low down payment, like seriously low down payment. I mean, you guys seen the deals that I locked up. Josh got a deal for 0 to seller, 3K to agent. I'm getting a deal for $10,000, and then my primary residence, I'm giving the homeowner exactly what they paid for. So I think they paid $20,000 just to get into it, and then 15 grand in furnitures. So these are the deals that you guys can definitely get into and leverage the low interest rate that's already on there. Of course, if the house was bought less than a year ago, the rates are probably a little bit higher. But if you go all the way back to 2 to 3 years, you will see a lot of 2%, 3%, and even up to even 4%. So this is the reason why I talk about this all the time. Is I want everybody here to start winning. I want you to start buying rentals. I want you to start doing sub-2 deals. There's nothing that I'm hiding from this presentation, because this is exactly all I do. Right, Josh? Do I do anything else? This is literally all I do, and the reason why my team succeeds is because we relentlessly follow up with the people that are in these situations, because most of the time they're gonna say no, my client's not interested. That's a terrible option, but they end up coming back and they take our offer because we're the only one on the table. And you might think, oh, sub-2 is saturated.
No.
I mean, we did the poll. How many of a lot of people know what no equity sub-2 deal is because I talk about it. If you talk, how many of you called? Like 80% of the hands went down. And then how many of you guys got a deal? And Manny is the only one that got a deal. So Manny and I, Josh, and Richard and Oscar, probably gonna dominate the sub-2 industry in the next 12, 18, 24 months. Wait 1 second. So you guys got the list. You guys got the filters. It's gonna be a small list, but the people that win are the ones that relentlessly follow up. Right? Like we get deals because we follow up for the last 4 or 5, 6 months. And the agents and the sellers get tired. They're tired of losing money on a vacant house that they already moved out. And I can give you so many more stories about this. Like I have 30 different stories, almost 40 different stories, but very different, very similar situation, but very different stories. But all it comes down to is homeowner has no equity, they can't get out, and we come in last minute and we save the day. And that's literally 90% of the conclusions. That's how it usually ends up. So that's that. This is a slide that I did that I made on Gator lending, but I don't want to talk about it today because I want Richard to invite me back in a couple months and I'll talk about Gator lending. But this is my this is my contact. This is where you can reach me at. Instagram is the best way. I check every single one of my DMs. I don't hire that out. It's just me. I always check it before I go to bed, and the first thing I wake up, I check my DMs. Lorraine, if you guys have any no equity sub-2 deals that you guys are having a hard time finding a buyer for, that's what we specialize in. Here's her contact information if you guys want to take it down, and her and I can definitely help you out. Josh, stand up. So Josh is one of, he's phenomenal on the phone. He's my partner. He wants to be a partner. He wants to be my partner. I didn't say yes to it yet. I said, if you do 10 more deals, we'll be partners. And we'll get there in a couple months. But Josh, if you guys have any deals that you guys need help closing, call Josh. He is phenomenal on the phone. Like, not as good as me, but he's decent. So, if you guys have any questions about objections, hey, well, seller said this, well, the realtor said this, and you guys don't have the answers to it, Josh can definitely help you out. Make sure you remember Josh, because he helps a lot of people with their sub-2 deals. And then, I'm not an affiliate, but the reason why I'm able to do the amount of volumes that I do is because of Love Francis and Munif. They are my transaction coordinators. They handle every single one of my files, and they are phenomenal. So if you guys are in need of a transaction coordinator, make sure you text Love. This is her personal cell, and this is her email, and they are happy to take up clients. Like I said, I'm not an affiliate, but if you guys are not happy with Love and Munif's transaction coordination fee, I will personally refund everyone just because I have a good experience with them and I've never missed a beat. They've never missed a beat. So I just wanted to say thank you so much for everyone that came out. I really don't know what I did to deserve all this people that showed up. I really hope if I inspired one person, if one of you guys get a sub-2 deal that you guys move into, if one of you guys buy a sub-2 deal that you guys make $500 on, that covers your car payment, whatever it is, I just want to say thank you for giving me the opportunity. Richard, thank you for giving me the opportunity. Oscar, thank you for the opportunity to speak on this stage. I'm so thankful, and thank you so much. Thank you.